So yes, flying right now is a little bit different. Here's a look at some ways that travel is changing, and maybe some of it permanent at the current time. So as you can see, I am actually at our airport. We're having to fly out to California for some family stuff. And yes, things are a little bit different. You can see that, one, the airport's empty. We're early, it's like 5 in the morning. But the long-term parking lot at our airport here, which is usually just packed to the gills and you have to drive forever, was like less than half full. I got a spot right up front. So different that way, a lot less travel. We've had some flights that have changed because of cancellations. So be aware, even if you book a flight early, keep watching until the last minute. Other changes you're going to find. You notice this is the restaurant behind me that's usually open. Even at this hour, it's closed. Be prepared for the restaurants at your airports to not be open or to just have very limited supplies. We've actually got a whole bag. I took one of my old camera bags and it's actually just full of snacks and food because we're going to be traveling for 8 to 9 hours and probably not have any food, at least at the airport. Drinks, of course, you can't take drinks through security still, so you may have to rely on something like that. Be prepared to have to use vending machines, or hopefully some of the little kiosks will be open. You can buy some bottled drinks and take it on board. The plane right now, as far as food goes, is only serving water, no choice of beverages, and then just a little snack pack, hopefully. Don't expect too much more than that. Yeah, they just are not doing anything because they're trying to reduce the points of contact and the stuff that goes on. Security be a little bit different. I can't show you security for what I hope is obvious reasons, but normally your fluids are limited to 3.5 ounces, so just small little things right now. They are allowing larger sizes of hand sanitizer to go through, up to 12 ounces. Be aware they're going to have to separately screen that. So even, you put it through the security machine, they're going to pull it aside and they're going to test it to make sure it's actually sanitizer. You can see one other difference here. Masks are required. Right now, gaiters are still allowed. That may change at some point. We actually have not just the gaiters for us because it'll be easier on the plane, but we actually have spare masks, the regular masks, in our bag just to try to keep those prepared as well in case we get someplace like California in particular does not want the ones with the vents on it because they just let everything out. So be aware that is a difference, and you get this loosened up a little bit so I can talk better. So little differences like that. Because they know people are bringing a lot more food through, they are asking you to pull your food out of the bag separately. If you can put it in a clear bag, great. Otherwise, they're going to want to pull it out so they can see everything and make sure that it's actually food and not something else. So still no fluids outside the little sample size. Just look how quiet this airport is, though. Springfield is not a real big airport. We actually like it because you can typically get here an hour and a half before your flight and you're not going to have any problem. But you can see this whole end is literally empty. There's nothing here. They've had so many flights they've dropped off, and that's true everywhere. Our original plan for California, we had a hop to Atlanta and then out to California. Well, they started changing flights, and so originally we were going to leave at 11:30. Now we have to leave at 6 because the flight we were going to take later in the day, they completely removed that route because they just don't have the traffic for it. Our return trip that was booked very similar became impossible because they killed that afternoon flight where we were going. We ended up with this crazy thing where we had a 30-minute layover in 30-minute layover in Salt Lake City and then a 30-minute layover in Atlanta, and we're going, that's not going to happen. So we had to completely rebook our other flight and get that all redone and try to make it work. So keep in mind, those things are going to change. Seating will change depending upon which airline you're on. We are on Delta, which I am very pleased with. Delta rocks. Let's just say that right now. Delta is doing a whole bunch of extra cleaning on their planes. They've actually got a video showing you the cleaning that they're doing, including sanitizing all touch surfaces and everything. Delta is also limiting the number of seats that they sell. So you will have an empty seat next to you, regardless of where you book, unless you're booking with your family altogether. You get empty seats next to you. Southwest is only booking like 60% of their flight capacity. And then you have American and United that just don't do it. Which, I mean, I have family members and friends that work for American. So, I mean, I appreciate the airline, but I'm just kind of going, come on, guys. I know it's financially hurting right now, but yeah, if you're flying on Delta or Southwest, at least at the moment, you will have extra space. They are doing extra cleaning. But check with the airlines before you go, because, of course, this is constantly changing. Everything is fluid. Oh, how everything is fluid. And so as we get down here, we get ready to get on our plane in like 40 minutes. I'll give you another look at Atlanta, and we'll see how much has changed there. We got an hour or so layover in Atlanta, which should be plenty of time, especially if they're anything at all like this. As I mentioned, flight capacity will vary depending upon when you fly, where you fly, and who you fly with. For us on Delta, we were guaranteed an empty seat on every flight next to us, which meant when we flew on the smaller plane from Springfield to Atlanta, my wife and daughter had a row to themselves with the 2 seats, and then I was in a row by myself with just me and the 1 empty seat next to me, so I had a little room to spread out. From Atlanta to California, it was even better. There we were on a larger plane, the rows were 3 seats each, and we had booked ourselves with my wife and daughter in 1 row. They were just the 2 of them out of 3 seats. And then my row, where I had booked myself next to a window, I had nobody else. So I had a whole row to myself on that flight, which was wonderful. Southwest, of course, is also booking fewer passengers per plane. And American and United and some of the others, well, it'll vary. But you kind of get what you get there. So be prepared for that. When you get to the airports, though, there's a lot less people in them. Check out what it was like when we were in Atlanta. And this is Atlanta. Look at everything closed. Okay, let's see. So as you can see, everything in this terminal is all closed. Yay! So this is Terminal A in Atlanta. You can see this one's definitely a bit busier. A lot more things are open here. There's several food places right around the corner, and they are all open with people. But you can still see, like, in-motion entertainment is closed. So there are a few things closed here, but even so, this terminal is usually packed, shoulder bumping. And while it's busier, you can see there's still a lot of walk-in space there. So you can see the difference. And kind of looking down, you can tell there's not as much foot traffic down there as there usually would be here. Give you a little idea of Atlanta. And after we arrived in California, we found things a bit different too. When it came time for our return trip from California to Missouri, flying through Atlanta, well, we found things a little different even on the freeway. Just had to show this. It is 7:30.
Upland.
Yeah. This is typically when the rush hour starts in LA, and you can see it's not very rushed at the moment. It's as clean freeways as I've ever seen. It's kind of scary. And even LAX was quieter. I was shocked. We actually managed to get from the check-in counter, dropped off our luggage, up to security, through security, and into the gates in 10 minutes, including everything. Usually just security is a 30 to 45 minute process if you're lucky at LAX. It was almost scary how empty it was. And we ended up there with plenty of time to get on the plane. And to get it, plenty of room on the planes, finding a mostly empty Atlanta terminal where we actually had to go through a couple extra terminals before we could find some food that was open, and then get ready for the nice quiet flight back to Springfield. One other thing to keep in mind on the planes, if you're used to getting good snacks and meals and a variety of drinks, they are not serving that right now. All of the airlines, it is water only, and it is just a couple snacks. In our case on Delta, it was a small bag of Cheez-Its and usually a cookie or something. And that was it. So if you want to eat on the plane, you better be ready to have that snack bag of yours to pull out, or it's going to have to just wait till you get to the next airport. Same thing if you want anything besides water to drink. Oh, and don't forget, you're probably going to have to keep those masks on for the whole entire flight. And the whole time in the airport. So be ready for that. So there's a little look at what it's like to fly right now. Keep in mind there's still a lot of things that are closed. When we were in California, our time was basically spent at our hotel room and at our family's home, and that was just about it. We didn't get to go out and do very much else because nothing else was open. And we knew that going in. Don't be caught by surprise. Hope you enjoyed this look at flying now. If you've got any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for my patrons, for their support, for my YouTube members, and for you for watching. Thanks so much, and God bless.